There we go. I got to stop that right in its tracks. Sorry about that. That was a little, I didn't mean to do all that countdown stuff on the video. No, Sadie, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to count it down there two times. At two times, I went from down to 30 seconds down to 60 seconds, and it's going to be a countdown till the end of the show. We're done with it, okay? I meant to do a nice little open there, but I don't know where the open went. It was an operator error, undoubtedly. Good morning, I'm John James, and this is your... Okay, can I just... Will somebody just work with me here this morning? Just for a minute. Then you can go take a break, okay? Okay, it's time for... Freedom's Pep Rally. We may be Bush League, but we're cute. What? Oh, boy. I don't know. John James here at your service, wearing my Red Ryder BB gun hat. See that? Is that it? Where is... Yeah. Well, geez, that looks an awful lot like the caps they wear at Red Robin. Are they gun advocates over there at Red Robin? I don't know. This is a Red Robin hat. Has nothing to do with Red Ryder BB guns. It's from my friend Rachel, who's a waitress at Red Robin. Thank you, Rachel. I love my hat. I love my, I've got this hat. I came by this, honestly. I have another hat that I actually got in the same area. It's a Five Guys hat, so I've got a Five Guys hat, too, because I'm a burger guy, so I love it. I've got Red Robin. I've got the Five Guys. Now, the Five Guys, I found I was on a walk one day going around the marketplace at Augusta, and you go around, where, I don't even know what stores, because I don't clothes shop, but where Kohl's and Dick's and... I want to say Jack and Jeans. Now, there's a flashback, right? Jack and Jeans. It's not. It's TJ Maxx. That's it. Up around TJ Maxx, right up where in the area where Red Robin is. And I'm coming around the building, hoofing it around the building. And when I get around Kohl's, I get around by the back of Kohl's. There's this cap, a ball cap, laying on the ground. Now, I'm a ball cap guy, so I pick it up. I look at it. It's Five Guys. And it's not in bad shape. I thought, well, this hat is now mine. This is my hat. So I've added that to my collection. This one was given to me, though. So, and the idea, I washed it before I wore it. The Five Guys hat. Don't worry. It's a not like, oh, I'm worried about him. Oh, you wear that Five Guys hat without washing. He could get some sort of a disease, some lice or something like that. We don't want that. Now, this was a couple of years ago. It's 9:17 here on Legacy 1160. We start the day with a look at history, and then we have a ton of stuff to get to, including that god-awful presser yesterday with Sleepy Joe and more. This is the 26th of March. Here's the Associated Press.
March 26, 1979. In Washington, leaders of Israel and Egypt sign a peace treaty at the White House. Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin.
No more war. No more bloodshed, no more bereavement. Peace unto you. Shalom, salam forever.
Egyptian President Anwar Sadat.
It is a historic turning point of great significance for all peace-loving nations.
1997. Bodies of 39 members of the Heaven's Gate cult who had committed suicide are found inside a mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. 1917, the Seattle Metropolitans become the first U.S. team to win hockey's Stanley Cup, beating the Montreal Canadiens. 1964, people who need people. In New York, the musical Funny Girl, starring Barbra Streisand, opens on Broadway. And 1944, Diana Ross, lead singer of the 60s Motown group The Supremes, is born in Detroit. Today in history, March 26th, Carlotta Bradley, The Associated Press.
I love that. I love the Supremes. I got to tell you, Barbra Streisand, But I got to tell you, I love her music. I love me some Streisand. I do. I love that song. That People Who Need People. I love that. Memories. Oh, memories. Memories painted. Memories in the corners of my Stony End. Woman in Love. There's one from the 80s. A lot of people don't remember that one. Maybe you do. What? I'm just a woman in love. It's hard to sing with music in my head there. Stop. So, yeah, I'm a Barbra Streisand music fan, not so much a Barbra Streisand fan, but she is one of those people who I have a lot of disdain for her politics, but I can still enjoy her talent. Now, there are others I can't separate, like Susan Sarandon, for example. I can't separate her from her politics. And Jane Fonda, the same thing. I will watch, the only movie I will watch with Jane Fonda in it, and you can guess what it is. I know you can. It's On Golden Pond. Great movie. It's a great movie. And she played a small part in it, comparatively to her dad, Henry Fonda, and Katharine Hepburn. Just a great movie. And plus, that movie was supposedly set in Maine. It wasn't. I think it was actually done in Vermont. I don't know if there were any. Maybe somebody can tell me. I should know this. But Great Pond in Belgrade Lakes, there is a mailboat out there, and I think it's a Chris Craft, or there was. Growing up, there was. And the movie came out in like 1981 or something like that. So I don't know if any of the scenery at all was shot in Maine on Great Pond or of that mailboat, but there's something makes me think that maybe there was. But I could be wrong about that. I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. I know what I'm talking. When it comes to politics, I know what I'm talking about, but I'm wrong about a lot of stuff when I try to recall things from the past. See what else is there? Oh, Augusta's getting a new police department. I guess going to cost $25 million. And they say taxes will not have to be increased in the city of Augusta, in the capital city of Augusta. How about that? How are they going to do that? Well, I'll tell you how they're going to do that. If you're going 31 miles an hour in a 30, you're going to get stopped. And the new citation, for your new citations, the fines are going to be $327 per 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. So that's how they'll do it without raising taxes. Just be on your toes. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's 9:22 right here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. We forgot to say happy birthday to one of my favorite singers, Elton John. There's another guy. I'm not a big fan of his politics, but he's great. He's great. And besides, Rush Limbaugh loved Elton John. Right. And did you know Rush and Catherine Limbaugh became very good friends with Elton John? He performed at their wedding, and they became very good friends. And Elton John is just a nice man. Reginald Kenneth Dwight, just a nice man, I guess, and a fantastic entertainer, someone who I've never seen in concert. He's been to Augusta a couple of times. He's been to Portland 2 or 3 times. And I could have gone. I worked at a radio station that had tickets, but I'm not into crowds. I'd rather just listen to the music on my home stereo. I used to go to a few concerts, used to go to a lot of country concerts, but I just soon be home listening on, cranking it up on my stereo and hearing my wife say, well, you turn that down. Because I got the subwoofer going. I'm getting right into it there, and she's trying to watch TV, and it's boom, 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 boom. Saturday night's all right for fun. Actually, I'm not going to say Elton's getting old, but he's got a new song out now called Saturday Night's All Right for Napping. I don't know if you've heard that one yet. 9:24 on Legacy 1160. Oh, happy birthday today to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Happy birthday. What do you get a woman like her? You want to get Nancy Pelosi, and I know you do. I know you do. I know you're saying, geez, she's the queen of something. She's the queen of the house there, gosh, I'd like to get her something, but what do you get for a woman who has everything but ethics? I mean, where you can't just go out and go to Kohl's and buy ethics or anything like that. Steven Tyler of Aerosmith having a birthday today. He's getting old. They've got a new song out called Janie's Got a Walk-In Tub. I bet that is a nice one too. I did ads for some walk-in bath. Everybody was coming out with a walk-in bath, like 10 years ago. And I was on a national commercial for these walk-in tubs. I was the announcer guy. They had the old people, hey, love my walk-in tub. And they were TV commercials. And I was just the voice that would come in at the end for like the last 15 seconds. If you want a walk-in tub, call this number now or go to, and I would do these. I'd do a bunch of these. And I finally get to see the ads. I would just do the voice at the end, and I never saw the ads. One day, the ad came on Fox News or something that my voice was on, and it was this old couple. Hey, we love our walk-in tub. And then my voice comes. But, it was that. My claim to fame is walk-in tubs and mesothelioma. That's how I was told to say it. When I did those ads, I was told to say, and there were a ton of those out there, too. They're different law firms, and there were class action suit ads. And it was, if you or someone you love has, gotten sick or died from, if you've died from, then you may be entitled to financial compensation. Call this number now. I don't know how I got way off course here, but I did. Remembering. Did you see the press conference yesterday? Supposed to start at 1:15. Didn't start till 1:25. I was worried. You could see, if you were watching it, they had the camera on the podium and the door where the president was going to come out. And the door was closed, and he was late. And you could see underneath the door. I mean, that's the White House. That's a White House, and they've got space underneath the door. That's like a freaking mobile home, for crying out loud, where you can see under the door. I mean, you would think it'd be a nice tight right to the carpet, but you could see people's feet moving around. I thought, geez, I hope those aren't paramedics. I hope the president hasn't passed out or something like that, and they're trying to revive him to put him out on the podium. The way he's been acting lately, though, it wouldn't have surprised me, but he came out about 10 minutes late and did his thing there. They're the very first news conference in 56 days? Was it something like 56 days, I think? Started about 1:25. I watched it on Channel 5. The Bold and the Beautiful was preempted by the Old and the Pitiful. You like that? All right, we've got 28 past 9 o'clock right now. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we've got Diana Muller. Diana Muller's going to be here. Diana Muller she's an amazing woman. She is an amazing human being. She's from Oklahoma. She is a law enforcement officer. She's a cop. She is the founder of the DC Project, which brings information about guns to Washington, D.C. Every state in the union is represented, 50 women plus probably. I don't know. We'll ask her. Go to Washington, D.C. to just try to school the politicians on guns and gun control and rights and, rights, the Constitution, stuff they don't know. And so we'll ask her about that. And she founded that. She organizes that every year. She is a 3-gun competitor, which means she's on the 3-gun competitor circuit, and they travel all over the place. I don't know if she does or not. We'll ask her, but she's represented by, I think, Benelli and Fiocchi or something, maybe Fiocchi ammunition. That's what it said on her jersey. But she goes around competing in it's handgun, shotgun, and rifle. That's a 3-gun. So she'll be here at 10 o'clock, and we'll ask her a bunch of stuff. I can't wait to have her on. I've been looking forward to this. And, of course, we'll talk about the attack on guns and Joe Biden's continued attack on women. The Biden administration's continued attack on women. All coming up here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So, stimulus checks. Let's start out with stimulus. I found this quite interesting, and I'm going to ask you a question. Ladies, I'm going to ask ladies who are listening a question. Let me get over here to my comment section, see who's in here. Okay, I don't. Holy cow. Okay, this just made me laugh. Matt just posted, so I can't repeat it, but oh my word. That's pretty funny right there. That was earlier this morning. Hi, Cameron. Hi, Matt. Hi, Eric. Welcome to the show. A walker. Is that what I was seeing under the door? Is that what you're saying? I was seeing that under the door. Good morning, Eleni. Well, so here we go. Stimulus checks. Who is buying? What are people buying with stimulus checks? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. An analysis of spending on Amazon following the distribution of the latest coronavirus stimulus, which is $1.9 trillion if anybody's keeping track, suggests that people are spending some of the money just to relax. Don't do it. When you want to succumb to it, relax. Don't do it. Oh, remember that? Frankie Goes to Hollywood? Relax. Don't do it. When you want to succumb to it, relax. Anyway. Sales the past week of Sony's game console rose 511%. 511% for the PlayStation. That was number one. Number two, the big number. Oh no, let's do a countdown here. Okay, you already know what number one is. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to give you a new number one. I'm going to make number two the new number one. So PlayStation is the big winner, but we're not going to mention PlayStation as I go through the top five here. At number five, computer graphics cards up 129%. I'm Casey Kasem. At number four, at 167% increase according to Amazon, corsets. Is that right? Corsets. C-O-R-S-E-T-S. Corsets. Do I know what a corset is? I don't know. Is it like a... I'm not going to take a guess. Let me type it in. I'm embarrassed by that. I should have looked at this and looked up what I didn't intend to go through this. Oh, okay. Daddy liked the corset. All right. So those have, wait a minute, I can't get off the pictures here. Okay, that rose 167% corsets. And that is number four. At number three, patio furniture sets up a whopping 241%. At number two, I tell you what, stick around. We'll have the top two selling items on Amazon after the latest round of stimulus checks when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be counting them down. I'm Casey Kasem.
AM 1160, WSKW.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the number one selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
With salt and sand from the road getting everywhere, Linux of Augusta has what you need to protect the inside of your vehicle. Stop in today and see the selection of WeatherTech mats, trunk liners, and accessories available for nearly any vehicle to protect those high-use areas. Or maybe you're thinking of installing a fiberglass truck cap. With Lear fiberglass truck caps, they offer a range of sizes that will boost both the value and the usefulness of your truck in all seasons. Call Linux of Augusta today at 582-0282 or stop by at 509 Main Avenue in Farmingdale.
Decorate with items from Townline Antiques this spring to invigorate your home and your spirit. Do you love classic decor? You'll find enchanting artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more items around every corner. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has cool, rare, and one-of-a-kind items that you won't find anywhere else. There are now more booths and extra space, so come see what's new, like a huge selection of stuffed animals, including an abundance of bears and bunnies just in time for Easter, and a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. They're all expertly handcrafted into unique shapes and colors that are breathtakingly vivid. Trust me, you've just got to see them. And have you ever considered selling your items at Townline Antiques? Well, there are now only 2 booth spaces left in this beautiful shop, so be sure to contact them as soon as possible. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5 on Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Hi, this is Tony Esposito from Rockland Ford. This year has been crazy, and it has majorly affected the car market. Here's what you need to know. COVID has slowed down new car supplies to a trickle, and factories are still shutting down because parts aren't available. Now, what does that mean for you? That means that your used car has never been worth more. In fact, it might be worth more than what you paid for it. Rockland Ford wants to buy your car, and we are paying top dollar for everything, especially trucks. So swing by or give us a call, because we are buying everything. Also, the redesigned 2021 F-150s are here, and they are easily the best F-150 I've ever seen. They have tons of new features and a great new look. You can lease one of these bad boys for as low as $379 a month. Don't forget to maximize your used vehicle's value by selling it to us. That's at Rockland Ford, home of the Rock Bottom Deal, Route 1 in Thomaston.
Lease for 36 months, 12,000 miles a year, $3,500 down with qualified credit.
In Maine, an astonishing 1 in 5 people will experience sexual violence in their lifetime. But you can support survivors, bring awareness, and help to bring an end to sexual assault during the Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center's 10th annual 1 in 5 5K. This year, it's a hybrid event. You can participate virtually or in person at First Park in Oakland, Sunday, April 25th. All proceeds benefit the Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center. For more information and to register, go to silentnomore.org.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Areas of fog and rain this morning and early afternoon. Rain may be heavy at times with the chance for a thunderstorm. Chance for showers or a thunderstorm this afternoon. Warm again with highs in the 50s and 60s and becoming breezy. Partly sunny, cooler on Saturday with highs around 50. Rain and mountain snow Sunday with highs around 40 for Sunday and Monday.
Welcome back to Freedom's Pep Rally, brought to you by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. I'm John James. I'm your friendly host. Happy to be here with you. Happy to have you here with me. And right now we're going down through the top 5 things that people are buying with their stimulus checks, according to a recent survey at Amazon.com. And we're up to number 2. Now I'm gonna refresh you. I'm Casey Kasem. I'm the late Casey Kasem. I'm not making. I love Casey Kasem. He's a hero. He's a childhood hero to me. He was the man. Where are those corsets? Where do I get them? Well, funny you should ask, Frederica. I had somebody commented here. I want to read it to you. It was very funny. Because I mentioned corsets, and for some reason I couldn't think of what a corset was. I wanted to think of, I was thinking flower, and no, that's a corsage, and I don't know why. And I think it might have been Cameron who said, or maybe correct. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Said people are buying the corsets to hide the weight gain from being inside during the COVID shutdowns. I thought that was good. I really did. So thank you for that. Okay. So here we are. We are at number 2. I'll give you the top the first ones I did. Now the real number one, up 511%, is PlayStation. PlayStation 5, up 511%. But we're going to put that aside, and I'm going to have a new number one, which is actually number two. So number 5, computer graphics cards. Number 4, corsets. I say corsets. Patio furniture. Number 3. And number 2, summer dresses. I love summer dresses. I don't wear them. I like to look at them. Summer dresses up 248%. And the number 1 selling item on Amazon at Amazon.com, according to a survey with the stimulus checks, Rose toy for women, up 334%. I'm Casey Kasem, and we're counting them down, and we're knocking them up. Oh, I don't know what I meant to say there. Yeah, no, I'm not making this up. It's actually the number 2 thing. As I told you, PlayStation 5 is number 1. The number 2 selling item on Amazon, up 334%, the Rose toy for women. It's actually called Rose Flower Sex Toy for women. I think Dr. Rachel Levine bought 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Am I? I'm sorry. I can't help myself. 941 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So there you go. There it is. There are the top 5. So I'm just curious. Yeah, oh my. Right? It's you can look that up, by the way. That's all out there. PlayStation 5 up 511% and 367% or something like that. The Rose Flower sex toy for women. And no, I'm not making it up. 941 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And I really don't. We don't have time to get into anything for a long period of time here. But let's at least start talking about this presser that was hosted yesterday at the White House. Finally, from the New York Post points out that Joe Biden did not call on. And I said that I said this yesterday. I said I bet he doesn't call on Peter Doocy from Fox News. It was just a hunch. You know, I was thinking maybe he'll surprise us. But no, he didn't surprise me. No, never called on Peter Doocy. He already acknowledged earlier at an earlier press conference that Peter Doocy asked tough questions. So, of course, he's not going to call on Peter Doocy because he would have asked a tough question. Shortly after the conference ended, Peter Doocy went live on Fox News, and he displayed a binder full of questions that he had prepared. He was ready. This guy was ready to rock and roll. The White House correspondent said that he wanted to ask in particular about Biden's plan to completely transform the economy and to make it all green, and to ask about COVID-19, specifics about COVID-19. That's one of the big things. That's one of the big things that is driving the Biden administration is the Green New Deal. All of this green, we're going to destroy the economy. We're going to destroy the oil industry. We're going to, the windmill and the solar panel agencies or economy is going to boom. Really? I mean, think of it. Everywhere you drive, there's going to be solar panels now. I mean, you can hardly drive around Central Maine without the sun glaring in your eyes, bouncing off these solar panels. How long before that is a driving hazard? When they get to be every other former farm field. And once they become solar panel fields, they aren't going to go back to farming. By the way, as an aside here, did you know that the biggest farmland owner in this country is not anyone involved in farming? The biggest individual owner of farmland in America is none other than Bill Gates. Did you know that? Did you know that? Let me see. I've got it here someplace how much farmland he owns. And I thought this was interesting. He has become the largest owner of farmland in the United States by quietly buying up massive plots across the country. His portfolio comprises about 242,000 acres of farmland and 27,000 acres of other land across 19 states. He is literally buying up America's natural resources. Can you imagine that? Almost, Bill Gates owns in all that we know of almost 270,000 acres of land. 242,000 of it, at last check, was farmland. Well, what's he going to do with it? Well, what do you think? Let's think about that just from, why would he buy all this land? To build houses on? Well, maybe. Smart houses? Maybe. He might. Maybe he'll do that. We know some things about Bill Gates. We know he's a big climate change guy. Oh, he's a big climate change guy. Imagine 242,000 former farm acres of solar panels from one guy, a single guy. Imagine that. Is that a possibility? Yeah. Well, you might use it for farmland. Really? Okay, Bill, here's something else we know about Bill Gates. He doesn't like us eating meat. In fact, he is a proponent of fake meat that you can print up on a 3D printer and eat, and says you'll get used to it. He doesn't want us eating cows and pigs. He wants us to eat fake meat. Another fact, a fact. Look all this stuff up. It's out there. So, the biggest chunks of Gates holdings are in Louisiana and Arkansas. He owns almost 70,000 acres in Louisiana, almost 48,000 in Arkansas. Owns about 16,000 acres in Washington, where he lives, including a 14,500 acre tract in the Horse Heaven Hills region that was purchased for Bill Gates, just a drop in the bucket. $171 million. No, don't need it. Don't need a mortgage for that. Can I just write you a check? Must be nice. You know, if you're using your money for good, it's one thing. If you're using it to destroy America, which he is, because he thinks he's smarter than everybody, he's not just the computer guy anymore. He's not just the guy who can reinvent how Windows crashes every few years. He is also the guy that knows how to build toilets for the Middle East. I don't know if you've seen that documentary. He is also the guy that can come out with some kind of a Moderna vaccine that he wants everybody to get. He owns stock in that. He funded that. Maybe that's got a computer chip in it. I don't know. Maybe not. I have no idea. I wouldn't put anything past Bill Gates and the people Bill Gates works with. We know he knows all about food. He knows all about food, how people should not be eating animals. I don't know if he's a big animal activist. I do know he's a big climate activist, and cow farts are one of the things that he believes causes climate change. Smart guy, Bill Gates, rich guy, using his money to fund the devolution of America. Also invested in GMOs. Yes. Yes. He has invested in so much. He's doing a lot of human testing. I've heard things about that. I don't know. Show me where to find that. I'd love to read more about that. Bill Gates is a fascinating guy. He's a fascinating guy just because of the things he funds. He funds all kinds of things that, clandestine things that we don't even know about. We have no clue. And our heads would probably spin if we knew. 9:49. Anyway, the Bill Gates thing was kind of an aside, but I thought it was interesting, and it was topical based on what we were talking about. So anyway, we were talking about the presser yesterday. Peter Doocy was going to ask about the Green New Deal. Now, the Fox segment began with the fact that Biden called on 10 people. And I'm going to play you what Peter Doocy had to say yesterday. He was on Fox News yesterday afternoon. And who was he with? I think he was with John Roberts and Sandra Smith. But here is Peter Doocy. Here's what he had to say. It was mentioned he was not one of the 10 that was called on.
That's right. And I mentioned last night on Special Report that I had a binder full of questions. I think some people were kidding. I was not kidding. We had a lot. And most of this stuff did not get to. For example, nobody ever asked him about this big plan that he's got, this big idea to completely transform the economy, to make it all green. That was something that we were hoping to get on the board with. And there really were not a lot of questions about COVID, particularly the investigation into the origins of it. That is obviously something that he spends a lot of time focusing on ways to move away from, but there is very little looking back at the origins of COVID. So we did not get on the board with that. Nobody else asked about that. And to Chris's observation, I can add to it that in the room, there were some aides, including Kate Bedingfield, the communications director, and Jen Psaki, the press secretary. They were monitoring what he was saying. Looked like they were checking their phones to get the instant reaction. But while he was up there, he was pretty much on his own. Usually at the last few of these, and the last one that I can think of like this would have been in Wilmington, they had an aide off to the side with the list of reporters to call on. Today it was Biden with the list. And once they got through about an hour and 20 minutes, he was done. I'm not sure if that was the end of the list. If we were on it, he did not make it down that far.
So Doocy's name soon began trending on Twitter. Several conservatives criticizing Biden for refusing to take a question from Fox News. Interesting, but not surprising. Republican communications firebrand Matt Whitlock said of Biden's move pretty glaring to walk up to the podium with an approved list of media to call on and leave Fox News and Peter Doocy off it. However, The Hill noted that Fox wasn't the only major news outlet not to get a question. The New York Times also did not get a question. But, with the exception of a few, maybe Fox was the only one that would ask tough questions. I don't know who else was in there, but there were like 30 reporters. You would think he could have spread the love a little bit. I mean, they were mostly all leftist media outlets. The New York Times was just another leftist media outlet. The first one he called on, the most left there is, PBS, Yamiche Alcindor, who threw just couple of softballs at him and said, "Oh, you are such a humanitarian." Oh my God, how that pales in comparison to the way she was with Trump. With Joe Biden, it's, "Oh, they love you. That's why they're coming. They think you're such a nice guy." And he was, "Oh, thank you. I like to think I'm a nice guy." Oh, it's the Mutual Admiration Society, PBS, and Joe Biden, where when Donald Trump was there, it was like, "Why, Mr. President, are you telling people to take Clorox, to inject Clorox into their systems to kill the virus?" That was her during the Trump administration. She's taking a chill. She's taking a little bit of a chill. Little bit of a vacation for her now. She can just throw softballs. Easy does it, Yamiche. Easy does it. We don't want to offend your chosen one. Toughest question came from Kristen Welker from NBC, believe it or not. We'll have that. We'll get to that a little later on this morning. Again, Diana Muller coming up at 10 o'clock. Three-gun competitor, founder of the DC Project. She is I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she's still a police officer in Tulsa. But we will find out. We'll ask her. I'm looking forward. I'm very excited to talk with her. Been working on setting this up for quite some time. Keith Hansen, Right America Media, had her on, I think, last week. And so she'll be on with us this morning. And you can find us, by the way, if you're looking for us, we're on video 6 to noon. And then the rest of the time, we're on audio at Legacy 1160 WSKW. We are going to be expanding the talk portions of the programming coming up in the not-too-distant future. So just to give you a heads up on that. And Keith Hansen actually is going to be one of our talkers. Pretty excited about that. We've got 9:54 on Legacy 1160 WSKW right now, and not much time really to get to anything else. So we will take a break here, and we'll be back with Diana Muller from Oklahoma next. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
The Easter Bunny has hopped over to Incense and Peppermints in Waterville, bringing with it your family's favorite Easter treats. Stop into Incense and Peppermints and fill up your basket with Chicks and Rabbit brand candies, traditional chocolate and covered peeps, solid milk chocolate bunnies, chocolate caramel bunnies, and chocolate eggs, plus new Easter flavors of jelly beans and nonpareils. Everybody knows your Easter will be so much sweeter if you visit Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
It's a new year. Aren't you tired of walking over the same beaten up old flooring? It's time you installed a new floor that offers premium durability by contacting HT Winters about their line of Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. Tarkett is designed to stand strong in all seasons against water, dirt, and sunlight. The best way to improve your home this winter is to install Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. HT Winters, 43 Bay Street in Winslow, and online at htwintersflooring.com.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Faith Abube. A new law in Georgia will overhaul the way elections are run in the state. A state ID is now required to obtain an absentee ballot. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp calls it a common-sense election reform measure. ABC Chief White House Correspondent Cecilia Vega has more on the president's response.
The issue of voting rights clearly struck a nerve with President Biden after states like Georgia passed these sweeping changes to election laws there. Democrats saying that those changes are aimed at disenfranchising minority voters. The president called these efforts sick and un-American.
Dominion Voting Systems sued Fox News for defamation. It's seeking $1.6 billion in damages, alleging Fox News pushed false accusations that the voting company had rigged the 2020 election in order to make a profit and boost ratings. Fox News has not yet responded. At least 6 people were killed as massive tornadoes swept through Alabama and Georgia. Almost 24 were reported. This is ABC News. Income and spending falling last month. New federal numbers show income sliding by more than 7% in the U.S. Spending was down 1%. At least part of that blamed on disruptions from strong winter storms. Still stuck and showing no signs of moving anytime soon. A cargo ship the size of the Empire State Building wedged in the middle of the Suez Canal. ABC's James Longman says it's stopping all the ship traffic in the canal.
About $400 million worth of goods pass through this waterway every hour. A lot of oil, but also consumer goods like cars and furniture and clothing. Now, if this goes on much longer, it could really start to impact global supply chains, and that could impact the United States. So the race is on to get it free. Diggers are trying to remove some of the earth around it and then perhaps refloat it, but it's taking time. And as we know, time is money.
Experts say it could be weeks before the canal is cleared. Also in Egypt, in the southern part of the country, a train crash this morning has killed 32 people and left dozens hurt. Faith Abube, ABC News.
Women's History Month from Indeed.
She spoke 6 languages, never went to college, but received more than 50 honorary degrees. Maya Angelou was a poet, civil rights activist, and author. Known for her acclaimed memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and her numerous poetry and essay collections.
Indeed believes less is more, so they have screening tools to help you narrow down your list of candidates. And you only pay for the applications you need. Deal? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, because shed happens.
Welcome to Freedom's Pep Rally. No mask, no problem. Just please keep your distance for your own safety. This guy has been known to bite. It's John James on Legacy 1160, Maine's Heritage Station.
Hey. Oh, look at that. It's 10 o'clock. I think it's the first time in my personal history I have actually gone into a break early, as opposed to having to explain why the affidavit says 1 hour and the commercials and news run in the opposite hour. I actually did most of it on time this time. And it is because I didn't want to start another topic that would go for a long time, because I was excited to get on the phone with my guest, my buddy, who I've been following for a long time, by the way. Welcome to the show, Diana Muller. How are you?
Hi, thanks. And I guess you were so excited you didn't turn us off. Is that what happened?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's, hold on just a second here. I've got to make sure. All right. Yesterday I had some buttons pushed and I took us off the air. And I'm not really a dingbat when it comes to pushing the right buttons. But yesterday, for some reason, I just did everything wrong. So I'm second guessing myself today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. You were on with Keith Hansen, I guess, last week?
Oh, man, it seems like so long ago I've forgotten.
I know. Isn't that something, the way time goes by, huh? But
yeah.
He was very excited to have you on. I know that.
Oh, thanks. It's always good to be heard, because I think that there's a lot to be talking about these days.
Oh, my word. Is there ever? Now,
Go ahead.
You're in Oklahoma.
Actually, no. At the moment I'm in north central Missouri at my mother's house.
Oh,
and
good
then we recently sold our Tulsa house after the election, and I think that the world is circling the drain. I thought that we have some land and family in Coffeyville, Kansas. That's where my husband is from. So we had planned on building there. It just kind of pushed that schedule forward, and we sold our Tulsa house. So now besides my dentist and
wow,
my bank,
yeah,
that's my only ties to Tulsa now.
That's going to be quite a trip to get a tooth fixed.
I know. It's not that far. It's only like an hour and a half.
Oh, is that right? So you're going to be in Kansas. That's nice. That's terrific. And you are, you're amazing. I mean, you first of all, I'd like to talk with you a little bit about three gunning, because that's always fascinated me. And as I said, I own, along with a partner, American Women Who Bear Arms, which you've been featured on several times over the years. But you three gunner, we're talking with Diana Muller, by the way, former police officer in Tulsa and three gunner and founder of the DC Project. Do you travel to do your three gunning? And first of all, to those who maybe don't know what three gunning is, why don't you explain what it is? Because it's fascinating.
Sure. We call it kind of the X Games of the shooting sports, because we shoot rifles, pistols, and shotguns. It's an action sport. So we're running around with our hair on fire, trying to be as accurate and as fast as possible. So there's a lot to manage there, but that makes it 3 times as fun for me. So
now it's rifle, it's pistol, it's shotgun, right?
Correct.
And what is the fact? And you're looking for a fast time and hitting the target, correct?
Correct.
That's amazing. What is the most challenging gun for you? Is it the handgun, the rifle, the shotgun?
Well, it's kind of like, when you ask somebody who your favorite kid is,
Right.
It's not easy to say who's the good kid and who's the bad kid.
Right.
You like all your kids for different reasons, but I shoot Benelli shotguns, I shoot Nemo rifles, and my handgun is a Hayes custom pistol. They are out of Austin, Texas. So I've got some great partners that keep us on the road and really allow me to do the advocacy work that I've been doing as well, because of course that's not a paid position.
Right.
So Fiocchi ammo, 511 tactical as my gear, Night Force optics. So I've got some great partners that keep me and my husband both going down the road. And I just got back from Washington D.C., so a little impromptu trip for the Senate Judiciary hearing.
Yeah, that's great. You were there with Chris Cheng was there, and former Texas Representative Hupp, who we talked about her the other day. She was the lady who went, I think it was Luby's cafeteria and she didn't take her gun in with her because it was the law.
It was a gun-free zone.
Right.
That's what all these mass shootings, that the media does cover.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they don't cover because it doesn't fit their narrative, but that's what they have in common, is that they're gun-free zones, and they strip law-abiding citizens of their right to protect themselves. And these madmen, they go in and they do their business. And just like she said, the end of her story is that as soon as he was met with equal force, he went in the bathroom and killed himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But her testimony is so, I cried sitting there listening to it for the umpteenth time. And I know I've heard her story. But what was fascinating, and for your audience who doesn't know, that this guy drove through the Luby's window, got out, and just started indiscriminately shooting people. And it took her quite a while. They thought it was a robbery, but then they realized that he was just going to walk around and shoot people. Her dad finally sees an opportunity and rushes him. He shoots and kills Dad, and her and her mom are left behind the table, and she's like, "Mom, the window's open, let's go." She runs out, and then she realizes Mom didn't go with her. Mom went over and cradled Dad until the gunman got back around to Mom, shoots Mom. And so and she says, she's not angry at the guy who did it. He was crazy.
Right.
She's angry at her legislators who disarmed her and denied her the chance to stop him. So that is so powerful.
It is. It is.
When I got back home, when I got back home, somebody, how they'll do clips of testimony. Well, somebody did a clip of her testimony that was from almost 30 years ago.
Right.
Same story, same woman, same point, same legislators. Chuck Schumer was up there.
Wow.
And I'm just sitting there thinking about the incessant attacks on the Second Amendment and how our side, we cannot let our guard down. We cannot stop the defense. As much as we would like to say, okay, we've talked about this, let's close this book. That's not how it's going to work. They're going to keep going until somebody else takes their reins. It's just like a never-ending cycle here.
Unbelievable. That's just unreal. So Schumer, and I'm sure Pelosi, she was probably there.
I didn't see her, but honestly, I didn't look. It was just like, I can't believe that we're having the same conversations almost 30 years later.
And Schumer has not budged. He has not budged on his detest for people having guns. Now, here's a question, and this is what I think. I think that this is not, they don't care about people. They don't care about guns. They don't want an armed citizenry. What do you think? Are they trying to disarm us?
Well, yes, absolutely. I think that there's a bigger picture, and the people that are being used as pawns to make that happen are a little short-sighted.
Yeah.
But I think what's different now than 30 years ago when they started this big push is that now they have poisoned our everybody's lockstep. Mainstream media, social media, Hollywood, all of the messaging that's going into the average everyday Joe Blow citizen is now lockstep that guns are bad, guns need to go away. So I think that, they're definitely making headway in the culture war.
They are.
Yep. And I think that's what's different, and that's why it's so dangerous right now. We're in dire straits of possibly losing our rights. I mean, we've lost. Honestly, looking at it, we've probably lost our First Amendment, and if our Second Amendment goes, then I think everything else is just downhill from there.
Oh, absolutely. The Second Amendment, we've often said it as gunners, the Second Amendment protects all the rest, Diana. We're talking with Diana Muller, a three-gunner, founder of the D.C. Project, former police officer in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're just an amazing American. You've got great insight here, and everything you say is right on. I love it. And I think we're getting people saying that they're fans of yours. They love you. Can't wait for the conversation. That's from Eric. Max is there. We've got a lot of people checking in here. We've got a bunch of different social media platforms going. So we're hearing from them as we speak here. And I'll check the text line as we go as well. But yeah, I mean, we are headed to dire straits. And you're right. The narrative is, and the thing is, the thing that really, I don't know how to combat this, Diana. Maybe you've thought about it. Maybe you have some advice for us. But you have all of these people who are nothing more than echo chambers for the propaganda media, for the Congress, the politicians. They're nothing but echo chambers. They are, in fact, Kool-Aid drinkers. We call them Kool-Aid drinkers and lemmings, which is exactly what they call us. Now, we aren't following any other ideology than constitutionalism and freedom. It's they who are following the socialist path. They are, by definition, the lemmings and the Kool-Aid drinkers, are they not?
I agree with you, and I have seen the people who say the exact same thing that I think about them. So we're definitely being divided, and I think that's part of the master plan.
Yeah,
you have to divide us by, now it's even down to masks and no mask, and vaccine and no vaccine. But I'm telling you, the propaganda machine. Americans have been so spoiled for so long that we've just turned over our liberties for what we think is safety and security, and our cell phones and electricities, and everybody's happy about it. But we sit here and the problems are glaring and the problems are obvious. But what are the solutions? And one of the things that I've never had kids. I'm 50 years old. I've never had a kid. So the school systems were something I didn't really pay attention to. And recently I had lunch with a state representative in Oklahoma, and they told me that there are 0 conservative voices on the Tulsa Public School Board. And I'm like, what kind of propagandizing? Now realizing that, that there is an effort to collectively work to push a message through social media, through Hollywood, and through mainstream media. It's like our school systems, I would just assume, I'm not going to think that they're not going to do the same thing. The same people are in control of it. So I've been telling my audience to, consider running for school board, consider running for state, local office, consider federal office. I mean, like the bar's been set pretty low.
No, that's great advice, Diana. We've gotten that every like-minded conservative guest we've had on this show has said, yeah, that's what we've got. We need all hands on deck. That is one of the go-to phrases now. All hands on deck. Run for a local office. Get involved. If you've got kids in school, at least go to the school board meetings if you can. We've got one school board in central Maine, which Maine is a very rural, and the further north you go, the more conservative it gets. Yet in a northern town, we've got a school board that wasn't allowing parents to come to some of the meetings. They were putting posters on the wall for fifth graders about, transgenderism and this and that. And yeah, this is becoming a more and more common narrative among kids. What happened to reading, writing, and arithmetic? It's starting at a very young age now, and it is scary.
Yeah.
So who knows where we're headed? Can only
well,
get.
you know, a long time ago, several years ago, I was like, you know what? All of the hate, one side hates the other side thinks the other side's idiots.
Yeah.
I was like, we just need to get a divorce and
Yeah.
use the Mississippi River. Everybody who wants, flip a coin. Everybody who wants their God, their guns, and their walls go to one side, and everybody who wants the utopia of chaos. I don't understand that. I don't understand why people in Portland are allowing the chaos, and that's what they're pushing for. Defund the police.
Right.
And it's like that. Does that not look like chaos to you? Is that something that you want to live in? Because it just doesn't seem. It's incongruent to what I know to be right and true.
Well, the Portland mayor out there, Ted Wheeler, has been on both sides. He's been out there with the protesters. Now he's saying we need to refund the police because we have too many protesters. Poor Andy Ngo, the journalist, got driven out of there and had to go to another country because he was being threatened by Antifa for his book. It's it's almost laughable, but it's too serious to really laugh at. I mean, it's sort of a nervous laugh, I guess.
Right.
You
hear legislators talk about domestic terrorists, and in my mind, when I hear domestic terrorists, I think immediately of an Antifa and BLM.
Right. Absolutely.
But what these legislators who they're talking about are the people who were peacefully marching, and then the insurrection in quotes. They want to use that word, and label everybody that was at the rally on the 6th as a domestic terrorist, and that's scary. Is just to use the language, because these Kool-Aid drinkers that you're talking about, they believe it. They believe that that we are the bad guys, and that we need to be monitored. List and make sure that we don't have public jobs and things like that. So
okay, here's a question. You went to the Senate hearings on gun control.
Correct.
Did you actually go inside the Capitol building?
No, actually, first of all, the wall, the razor wire, and some of the outer walls have come down.
Oh, they have.
Yes. Now there is just a wall with no razor wire around the Capitol, and I could not go through the Capitol grounds at all. And the hearing was in one of the office buildings.
Okay.
So, but very strict of who's coming in, and only staffers. It's not open to the public. The DC project is Women for Gun Rights. So basically, if you've ever heard of Moms Demand Action and seen their red shirts, we are the opposite of that. We believe that education is the key to safety, and not legislation. So we're trying to provide a counter visual and a counter voice to the red shirts, so we call them commie mommies every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, every time I see a picture of Shannon Watts, I just want to go be sick somewhere. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's very, very sad that that people can't have a conversation. And I have met her. I introduced myself to her, and she kind of asked me one question about universal background checks. And when I said I didn't agree with her, she said, "Well, we don't have anything to talk about."
Yeah. See, that's the type of, that's the way she reacts. And I did I went over to the Moms Demand Action page. It was several years ago, and they had posted an ad. How deplorable it is that Cabela's has an AR-15. They're advertising in the paper an AR-15 at this price, and I just merely posted underneath. I thought, well, thank you. That's a really good price, and they deleted me from the page. I cannot post.
Yeah.
So and it was all.
There is no discourse. You either bow or you're kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. And on American Women, I unless people get they swear and start just getting mean and nasty, they say whatever they want, because I know that the users of the page are going to come back on them tenfold, and the problem will take care of itself. But they just don't want any discourse at all over there.
Well, and that's why I think the DC project is so important, is because I didn't, in the beginning, I didn't want to create another organization. I just wanted to do something, meet gun owners, meeting women gun owners, meeting their legislators to push back on that narrative. But now it's kind of taken on a life of its own. We've pushed down to the state level. We trying to go see the state capitol legislators as well. And we're growing. I'm not very good at asking for money and fundraising.
Yeah.
So I've got an amazing team of volunteers, and we are kind of upping our fundraising efforts because I recognize that in order to counter moms effectively, we're going to have to at least get some sort of funding behind us. They have a $36 million budget. I think,
wow.
I don't know.
Well,
last year it was $60 million because of the election.
They got Bloomberg too.
That's Bloomberg money.
Yeah.
So, and they have they have great campaigns that I get an email from them on a regular basis. And it's all hate. It's all hate filled, fear mongering, fundraising, and they've got a very well oiled machine and very well motivated people. So if your audience is inclined, or if they know any Bloombergs that want to support the opposite side, dcproject.info, or reach out to me. I'll be glad to talk to them.
That's terrific. I have on my page this morning, I'll be sure to share it on American Women as well. I've got a link to the DC Project on American Women right now, and on Right America Media, and on my page this morning. I think I've got a link to your I think if I recall, the name of your page is 3 Gun Girl, or 3, something like that. I'll link to the DC Project and to your personal Facebook page anyway, Diana.
And let me tell you about this. I'm pretty excited about this. Jerry Miculek is the greatest of all-time shooters. If you don't know who Jerry Miculek is, he's kind of the Michael Jordan of our shooting industry.
He is the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. And he has allowed, we have one of our fundraising efforts is a 2-man team match. So we are selling Jerry's partnership. We are selling training with Jerry the day before the match.
Really?
We're selling his partnership at the match. It's a 2-day match. And then also a Mossberg shotgun is part of the package. So if anybody is interested in supporting the DC Project and having possibly a chance of winning that, they can go to dcproject.info/Jerry and buy some tickets.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's going to be May 22nd and 23rd. So 21st would be the training day. 22nd, 23rd is the match. And that is also in Versailles, Missouri, which is right smack dab in the middle of Missouri and not close to any airports. But
yeah. Oh, that's great. Jerry Miculek, that's great. And Lena, of course, his daughter, will probably, I've seen her around. I've seen Jerry once at one of the NRA conventions, but I didn't get to talk to him. I talked to Lena once. She wouldn't remember me from Adam, but
great people.
Great family. And I saw Jerry Miculek. This is no kidding. If you go on YouTube and you don't know who he is, it's Miculek, I think is how you spell his last name. And he took with a revolver, I think, correct me if I'm wrong if you know this story, Diana, but I believe he took a revolver and from something like some ungodly distance, like a mile or something, he shot a balloon.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes. I don't even remember what that was, but it was a pistol caliber and it was 1,000 yards.
Yeah, 1,000 yards.
I think what's more impressive is he has so many speed records. He has, he takes a revolver, shoots 6 rounds, reloads it and shoots 6 rounds in some ungodly time.
I know.
3 seconds.
I know. It's unreal. It's like he's like a machine. He really is. Yeah. Oh, but that's awesome. What is that web address again to sign up for that, Diana?
It is dcproject.info/Jerry. We'll take you straight to the cart where you can purchase tickets.
Okay. So dcproject.com/info. Oh, no. DC. Okay. dcproject.info/Jerry, Jerry. And check that out. That's awesome. Now, the DC Project, what is your, we know what your platform is, your mission statement. What do? You, and by the way, the state director is somebody we've had on this show before, Tatiana Whitlock. She, another amazing woman. And you have a different woman from every state, correct?
Correct. We had, I tried to get one woman from every state to come to Washington, D.C. to meet their legislators there. But then after Virginia fell in 2019, I realized how important the state effort was, is that nobody's really pushing back on these Moms Demand Action and these anti-gun groups, from the women's perspective. And that's what, seems to be so relevant right now. So we asked the ladies that have been coming to Washington, D.C. to go back to their home states and do a similar effort in trying to recruit. So if anybody's in Maine, and please go to dcproject.info/join and sign up. It's free to sign up. I told you I was really bad at getting money. And
I understand. I get that. I can relate to that so well, Diana. I am with you. We're talking, by the way, this is Diana Muller, founder of the DC Project, and just a great human, a great American, and a three-gunner and former police officer. And anyway, so go ahead and continue with that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to encourage anybody that lived in Maine. We definitely need more Maine ladies.
Yep.
Yeah, and anybody who's listening, we've got a place for you to. We're very grassroots. So I don't want people to think that we have the $36 million budget and we're very well oiled. But really, what I just need is women that have a heart to do something and then jump in and actually do something. Yeah. And West Virginia, if there's West Virginia people, I need a West Virginia lady. I don't have a state director there right now. And Joe Manchin is the key to our livelihood for
that's
the near future.
Right. Yeah, and you're kind of lucky with Joe Manchin that he's a Democrat who stands where he is. Right. So he's sort of like anti-gun light, it seems.
Right.
He's,
exactly. Well, and honestly, I think if you look back 20, especially 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, these industries, these firearms industries, they didn't want to get into politics because the Second Amendment is for everybody. It is a nonpartisan issue. And it's only been recently that the Democrats have turned so far left and so far anti-gun and so much hate and vitriol for gun owners. That's where it's turned. He's the only one that's just kind of remained, and everybody else is kind of lockstep with the Democratic platform of going against guns. But those 8 million brand new gun owners, I'm pretty sure some of those are going to be Democrats.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
What we need from our Democrat friends that might be listening to you is that we need you to be the loudest voice.
Yeah.
We need you to go knocking down their door and saying, this is a no-go. Do not do this. This is a constitutional issue. Back up off our Second Amendment. That's what I need. And I need more Democrats. I need more Democrats in our group. It's just really difficult because of the partisanship that has come down the pipe. And I feel like that's coming from the Democrats. So however it may be, but we are nonpartisan and we are looking for Democrat people to stand up for the Constitution.
We've got a lot of great Democrat gun owners in this state. And luckily our governor, despite the fact she seems to be a tyrant on the whole COVID-19 mandate, this executive order thing, which has been going on forever and still is, she has been good because we have a couple of great groups here in Maine who I will reach out to on your behalf, Diana, but we have the Gun Owners of Maine. We have the Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine. Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine has a lot of Democrats in it who I've met. One I worked with pretty closely, a former senator here, did a show with us for the Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine, and he's a great outdoorsman, a great gun guy, a big promoter. And I don't understand, given the division between Democrats and Republicans in Congress, how Democrats can continue to vote Democratic, knowing it flies completely in the face of their Second Amendment rights to do so. It just doesn't make sense to me. But
we're losing the culture war, and and if we don't get busy on pushing back on that, we're going to be in the minority.
So we're looking for people at the state level more than necessarily going to Washington, D.C. So it wouldn't be something where they had to travel. They could still be part of the D.C. project and work with local people and maybe even start a local D.C. project group.
Absolutely.
Now, are you the one, you're sort of the nucleus of it, right? I mean, they come to you for marching orders or ideas and resources and stuff?
Yeah, I'm the founder, and I do have a lot of ideas that we push forward, but I have a great board. Got Holly Sullivan up in Connecticut, and she's the Connecticut Citizens Defense League president. Got Amanda Suffolcool in Ohio, Kelly Pigeon in Pennsylvania, Robin Sandoval in Texas, and Beth Walker is our youngest, and I have tasked her with taking over when I'm dead.
Jeez, don't do that. No.
She's our social media. She's our social media guru out of Indiana, and then Stephanie Schaefer out of Nebraska. So those are my regional directors and kind of our board members, our advisory board members, and they do a fantastic job for us with, ideas and driving them forward. It's just that, honestly, that every one of those women, I need to be able to pay a full-time salary to. I'll settle with just one right now, but we could really blow this up if we could do this full time and focus on it. Because we get so much good stuff. We've got women testifying left and right. We're doing that visual, the visual of, we have a Teal for 2A campaign. So we have this teal shirt that says, it has legislate in big block letters, and then it's like educate, like you went to a chalkboard and wrote over legislate with educate.
Oh, that's great.
So it has AR-15s on top and bottom of it.
Oh,
so,
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great visual. I actually wore that T-shirt into the Senate Judiciary hearing. That's why I was there. I was there as a visual aid.
Yeah, good.
Myself and Maj Toure from Black Guns Matter. He was dressed to the nines in a really nice suit. And, we just sit back there behind our witnesses and we kind of gently nod when we agree with our pro-gun side. And
right.
But those are great visuals that the other side have been using for a very long time.
Yep, they sure have.
So we're just trying to play catch up. And that T-shirt is on our website as well, dcproject.info, I think /shop. Just go to the website and peruse around. I'm
going to get me one of those. That's great. That is terrific. Now, there was another question I was going to ask along these lines, and I just lost it here as you were telling me about the shirts, because I'm envisioning the shirts in my head. But I'm thinking I'll probably get it back here in a minute. So,
well, let me tell you this. I don't know if we're going to put them on the website, but we just got into the mask business because we are planning on going with a small contingent of ladies in April. We're going back to Washington, D.C., and we're presenting to some caucuses. And that's going to be our effort in D.C. this year. Well, you have to have a mask everywhere you go in D.C. And so we got into the mask business, and we're going to have that educate over legislate message on our mask. So
that's terrific. Yeah. That's terrific. And though you say you're probably not going to sell those on the website, there are probably not a lot that were made.
Well, actually, I think we got like 72 of them. So if people are interested, hit me up and I'll see if I can't connect you. And we might as well put them on the website.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna have to wear a mask, you might as well have a message on it.
Absolutely.
That's such a great message.
I wore I had my Trump mask. I actually wore it for weeks after the election because I still would not acknowledge, because it wasn't official that Joe Biden was president until the things had been, the electors had been certified. So, and people say, well, he is too, president. I said, he is not. It's not. Look at Epic Times. They've got all the real numbers there. And unfortunately it was what it was, and it is what it is. But no, the fight, we march on, and you're right. I mean, the time to be quiet and sit on the sidelines, because we are like you. I can tell by talking with you that I don't like to ask for money, and I'm the same way. We just like to get along, and we like to play fair, and we like to be nice. But the time to be nice, I think, may have passed because the ones who are loudest and most angry and the most vitriolic are the ones that get heard and the ones whose narrative gets out there. And it's not like me to be mean, but sometimes I guess passionate would be a better way to put it.
Right.
Passion.
Well, you know, the DC project is only one effort. My husband and I've been in the shooting sports for 11 years now. I retired from police work in 2014 to focus on this full time. But in 2009, 2010 is when I came back to the shooting sports from barrel racing, and really started being a second career when I retired and could focus on it full time.
Right.
But during that time, I got in with Michael Bain, who had Shooting Gallery on Outdoor Channel, and I was co-hosting with him on some episodes, and I would struggle. It's not easy to be in front of a camera and be that personality.
Right.
And I was like, Michael, where can I go to get some training? And he's like, oh, you're doing great. And I was like, no, I have a TV. I can see the show, and I suck. I want to get better. And so it was out of that. And then social media gives me headaches, and filming and editing gives me headaches.
Right.
So I was like, I want training. And what I did was I just hired subject matter experts and started the Ambassador Academy. And it's a 5-day training for really anybody, because we do go over social media, which anybody can use and needs. We go over filming and editing, which if you're going to have social media, you know how to do that.
Yep.
We go over hostile communications. That's what I'm most proud of, and that's what we put the most focus on, is how to have difficult conversations and how to bridge, how to debate a little bit, stuff like that.
That's great. Can that be an online course?
No. Not. I guess it could be if I had the bandwidth to do that, but it's not. It's a 5-day course outside of Orlando, Florida, at a place we call Tactical Disneyland, which your audience would probably love. It's actually called WAFT, West Orlando Firearms Training, WAFT.com, if they want to check it out, because now, traditionally, this place has been closed to the public, but just last year he decided to open it up to the public.
Yep.
And amazing facility, amazing buildings, and their specialty is kind of scenario based training. And I like it because it's not a cookie cutter class. You're going to get individualized. If you don't carry a gun, you're not going to get to carry a gun. He's going to teach you how to use what you use on a regular basis.
Right.
And introduce flashlight concepts and safety concepts that don't. So it really is a class for anybody, but his facility is equipped to go all the way up to force on force. He's got probably 50 UTM guns, more guns and gear than I've seen at any police department.
Wow. And how are you spelling it? Loft, L-O-F-T?
No, W, William.
Oh, William. W-O-F-T?
Correct. West Orlando Firearms Training.
WAFT.com. I've been to a Machine Gun America there in Kissimmee before.
Right. I've been there as well.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is. And but I'm telling you, check out WAFT.com and check out the coffee shop.
Okay.
Liberal Tears Coffee Shop.
Well, Liberal Tears I've heard of that place.
Yeah,
Liberal Tears Coffee Shop. Yeah. I bet not many liberals go in there, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, we need them to.
Yeah.
We need them to have a sense of humor.
Oh yeah, we do. We really do. I mean, that's something I've noticed about a lot of progressives. They lack the ability to laugh at themselves. And you see this and I get we could talk all day. I see this all the time on who's the guy? Steve Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, all these guys. We used to watch Leno and Letterman and Carson, and we used to laugh. It used to be a great way to end the day, but they're just political hacks now.
Yep.
They can't laugh. It's frustrating.
Yep. They have to be social warrior justice.
Yeah.
Social justice warriors.
Amen. Amen to that. I was going to ask you another question about what do you? Oh shoot! Again, a question leaves me. I should have prepared more questions for you, but I like to ask things off the top of my head, and I'm just thinking of these things as we go here. So, do you think we're going to see any of these draconian gun laws pass, or do you think any of them are going to be signed into, by an executive order? Of course, if that's the case, there would be lawsuits. But I don't know how successful they'd be. This is a scary time for gun owners.
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I'd be able to answer that. But I think that if we make it out of the Senate and that we're going to, those senators need to hear from, if your senator is a pro-2A person, they need to hear from you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hear from the people who are being told by CBS, NBC, all the mainstream media,
right,
that that the Senate needs to act. You heard the president say that the Senate needs to act.
Right.
And they campaigned on those first 100 days, and if they didn't get what they wanted, that they were going to use the executive order.
Right.
So I really hope that it makes them look as tired. I hope that the Senate does the right thing. I hope that they stand with the side of the Constitution, and I hope that if Biden's administration does feel like, I'll say it's Biden administration because I don't know that it decides anything.
Right. I don't think so. Yeah.
And so if they decide to go ahead and push through an EO, that'll just make them look like the tyrants that they are.
Oh, exactly. I don't know if they care anymore. I think they're so transparent to that end. Everything they're doing now, Diana, I think, including gun control, including the border wall, including the, they want Medicare for all, and all of these other things. I think these are all means to the end, to the ultimate end, which is their utopia, which they have convinced many of their lemming followers does exist. If only you will give us the power and control to bring it on, we'll give you everything you need from cradle to grave, and it's going to be good. And people are lapping it up. They're believing it.
They are. But when you give everybody a trophy and don't teach them how to deal with hardships or deal with no, I feel like that's really how you get these people who are so soft and so just fragile.
Yeah, you want to use the word.
Generations are so fragile.
Snowflake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one other thing. If for example they do bring in another so-called assault weapons ban, which, by the way, an AR-15, I'm sure, is the rifle you use, or a similar gun in your 3-gun, correct?
Correct.
I mean, these guns are, and I can't remember who it was. We had him on the air yesterday saying the only thing an AR-15 is good for is killing people. Oh, it was Joy. It was raging racist Joy Reid on MSN. No, Joy Reid on MSNBC.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing an AR-15 is for is to kill people. Well,
but they get to say those lies unchecked.
Yeah,
I was watching the Georgia. I watched MSNBC for a little while last night, and they were talking about Georgia and talking. Their headline is "Republicans Against Democracy," and that's just the division. The division and the hate is so. It's so far gone. I don't know if we can ever come back because, honestly, if you look at it, when did this kneeling start? I mean, when you start attacking our flag, you start attacking the glue that holds this country together.
Right.
Our schools are teaching our children to hate America.
Yes, they are.
And what do you have? What do you have when you have your patriotism is going down the toilet for half the country, and it's hate, and they're godless.
It's a godless society. It really is.
Yeah.
And
that's why they hate. That's why the hate is so deep.
Yeah, well, they've taken God out of the schools and they've replaced God with so much secularism. Including there's 100 different sexes. Boys can be girls and girls can be boys. And
Dr. Seuss is bad, but Cardi B was great performance.
Cardi B, WAP. You can't even say what that acronym stands for on the radio. It's unreal. Now, you created the phrase or the hashtag. I've been crediting you with it Anyway, for the longest time, we will not comply. Is that your hashtag?
Well, I will not comply, is what I said.
Okay.
I actually testified in front of the House Judiciary in September of 2019.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was just trying to point out that they made me already make a choice when they banned the bump stocks. Do I become a felon?
Right.
Or do I comply? And I said that if you do this assault weapons ban, that I think it's unconstitutional and I will not comply. But yes, I said it. I said it to, I looked straight at Jerry Nadler after I said it. And then I realized maybe I'd said too much. And I was wondering if
Jerry Nadler,
what kind of backlash I was going to get. But the reason I said that is because about, an hour earlier, one of the guys from the Patriot Pickers, and I actually knew him. I didn't know him. I didn't know who it was at the time, but he stood up and he had a copy of the Constitution. He was in the gallery and he says, "I want to testify. This is unconstitutional, blah, blah, blah." And I didn't even turn around for the first several seconds because I figured it was a heckler. They'd get escorted out.
Right.
But it went on and on and on. Well, I finally turned around and it was this guy from the Patriot Picket, and they have shirts that say "We will not comply."
Oh, really?
Big round circle says "We will not comply." And if you go back and look at that testimony, that I was referring to him when I said, just like that gentleman that got escorted out,
yep,
I will not comply.
That really is, that says it all. I mean, are we about in your mind now? And this is a question I ask everybody who is involved in the gun world, because you would have to ask yourself, what would people do if they said, okay, we are banning all of the it's been voted on in the House and Senate, and we've decided that so-called assault rifles, AR stands for Armalite Rifle, by the way. I have to tell people that all the time. What do we do as law-abiding gun owners, as law-abiding people? They have now created a law that is constitutionally against the law. Do you comply?
And made you a felon.
Yeah. So
what do we do? That's a good question. That's going to be something that every person has to decide for themselves.
Yeah.
But honestly, this has been going on in California. This has been going on in New York and up in the Northeast already. People are having to decide whether they comply with these unconstitutional laws and restrictions on their rights. And some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them just do, just keep their mouth shut, keep their guns. And I don't think they had a lot of response, but they're playing the long game. They're putting in a law that's creating a hurdle for not maybe our generation, because we remember what freedom tastes like.
Right.
We're not easy to give it up, but when we die and those guns get passed down to the next generation, they're gonna, it's just gonna keep watering down our patriotism and the people who are willing to go against their unconstitutional laws. So they're playing the long game. They always have, just like I said in the beginning. Right. Susanna Hupp's been testifying with the same message to the same people for almost 30 years. And now they're just starting to reap the benefits of what they've sown so many years ago.
Yeah, she's been an amazing crusader. She really has, and so are you, Diana Muller. You are an amazing crusader, and
well, thank you.
I love what you're doing, and I love your history, and I love your the fact that you're a 3-gun competitor, and you mentioned the long game, and that just made me think that if they did pass a law, say this Congress passes a law that we have to they should. If they have any sense at all, they would grandfather people who already own them. But if they make it a law that you have to turn in your AR-15s and your AK-47s and anything that looks mean, if you turn it in, it's gone. And then, the next Republican president and legislature that comes in could take the law away, and you no longer have your guns. So You know,
that's why you're going to have to make a decision.
Right.
And, this is the hill I will die on.
God
and
bless you.
I know that I will either be an outlaw at some point if they get their way, or we just hold the line until my time here is gone. So I'll do what I can.
What a good person you are. I really appreciate your time, Diana.
No problem.
And
what we have to do is we have to speak out to our friends, our families, and our communities and tell them that we are not the problem. And you know what? Another thing, I mean, I've been pushing DCProject.info a lot, but when you go there, A, sign up, B, get a ticket for Jerry, but 3, there's a one-page document that we have as a free download, free because we're bad at getting money. But it's a free download, and it just talks about how to have these conversations with people of, don't rely on statistics and constitution and things like that. Think of emotional, be emotional, do what they do.
Right.
It goes over why we don't like universal background checks, why we don't support red flag laws, why we don't, what is it about safe storage that we need to know? It's really a great document, a little one-pager that might help everybody out in the future.
That's great. I mean, we're all looking for good talking points all the time, and this is great. I mean, that's another thing. And again, it is dcproject.info/join to join /Jerry. Well, I'm sure once you get to dcproject.info, there are probably links to all the other areas of the site.
Correct.
Okay. I've been there before, but I can't remember the layout of the site. But yeah, good.
Yeah. I think there's a shop page. And that's where Jerry's link is. But the match is under events. If anybody wants to support us through the match, if there's any companies, that wants to give product, we basically turn around and do raffles and things like that and create money through product donations, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of, and I would love to hear feedback. So if anybody wants to, their website guru, just let us know what you think of our website and how we can make it more user friendly.
That's great. And we do have listeners on the internet. We have listeners in other states. We got Florida, we got New York, we got New Jersey, and others checking in from time to time. So if anybody in any state wants to get involved in the DC Project in their state, again, just go to dcproject.info. And you'll be able to find all the links, user-friendly links right there, and probably reach out directly to you, too, I would imagine, Diana, huh?
Sure. Yeah, and I'd love for everybody to follow us on social media. On social media, we are DC_Project Foundation on Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's the DC Project on Facebook. And, if you could just give us a like, that doesn't cost anything.
Right.
And it ups our numbers. So, we're trying to get up to Mom's Demand numbers. So, and try to be a counter to them. So just anything you can do to help us. And then if anybody wants to reach out to me personally on Instagram, I'm Di3Gun, DI, the number 3 gun. And on Facebook, I'm Diana Muller, 3 gun.
Okay. Terrific. And yeah, just liking the page, sharing the posts. I mean, it's free, it's easy, and that's how they get big. That's how Mom's Demand Action got big. They just got a lot of people with their, whatever their campaigning was, state to state, to join onto the Facebook page and share it. And they've got I don't know where their numbers are, but they were pretty substantial last time I checked it out. I can't post there anymore, so I don't visit. No reason to.
Well, and also we talked about the Ambassador Academy, and that website is ambassadoracademy.info.
Ambassadoracademy.info. This is great. I mean, you've got so many great resources, and you are a wealth of knowledge, and I wish you the very best of luck in everything you do. Now, when you join, if you join, is there a fee you can pay to get a DC Project member card? Have you gotten there yet?
No, you can donate at our website. You can buy a t-shirt. You can buy some of our merchandise.
Do you have hats?
I don't know about hats.
I want a hat.
Okay.
Can you make me a hat?
I'll work on it. I'll
All
work
right.
on getting you a hat.
I bet the hats would go good. I bet. And guys, I love hats. I wear hats every day. Usually gun hats.
Yeah.
And so that DC, anything I can do to help, I want to help out.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I will spread the word, and I hope we can have you on again sometime, Diana. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. You have a great day, my friend. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Keep up the fight. Bye-bye. Diana Muller. What an amazing person. I love it. I'll die on this hill. Amen to that, huh? We're Americans. I mean, we are Americans. We aren't followers. We aren't Kool-Aid drinkers. We aren't lemmings. We aren't sheep. We just want to live free. We just want freedom. And we don't like the lies. This is how they get their way. They spread lies. They make some of the people believe them all of the time. You know how that works. Some of the people, all of the time, you can fool them. And they have. And those fools, the people who are fooled, who I call the fools, spread the word, spread the message. They echo the sound bites. And before you know it, you've got more and more and more people believing that A, there are 100 genders, B, guns are dangerous, and assault rifles are going to kill everybody in America if we don't get rid of them. These are all lies. And the utopia, the dream, the end that they want, where they can take care of all of us and we become their serfs, it's all a ruse. It's all a big lie, but it's all part of a means to their end. Total control, total domination, and that's what they want. And they're getting closer and closer. We can't let it happen. Diana Muller with us for the last hour. Back with more after the top of the hour. Stick around, please. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing, and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Hi, this is Tony Esposito from Rockland Ford. This year has been crazy, and it has majorly affected the car market. Here's what you need to know. COVID has slowed down new car supplies to a trickle, and factories are still shutting down because parts aren't available. Now, what does that mean for you? That means that your used car has never been worth more. In fact, it might be worth more than what you paid for it. Rockland Ford wants to buy your car, and we are paying top dollar for everything, especially trucks. So swing by or give us a call, because we are buying everything. Also, the redesigned 2021 F-150s are here, and they are easily the best F-150 I've ever seen. They have tons of new features and a great new look. You can lease one of these bad boys for as low as $379 a month. Don't forget to maximize your used vehicle's value by selling it to us. That's at Rockland Ford, home of the Rock Bottom Deal, Route 1 in Thomaston.
Lease for 36 months, 12,000 miles a year, $3,500 down with qualified credit.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
If quality and reliability for all of your home heating and cooling needs is important to you, then choose Bob's Cash Fuel in Madison. Starting out with just one truck for deliveries in 1981, they've continued to grow to a locally owned and operated full-service company offering experience and a staff of trusted and loyal professionals. Bob's Cash Fuel offers heating oil, kerosene, diesel, gasoline, propane, and 24-hour emergency service for heating and cooling. And now with their new app, you can order fuel right from your phone, check account information and delivery status, make a payment, and more. Download the app at the App Store today. Bob's Cash Fuel also offers emergency oil and propane delivery to all of their customers. And if you're looking for a new boiler that can give you all of the hot water that you need and reduce your heating fuel costs by up to 40%, then check out the System 2000 from Bob's Cash Fuel in Madison. To heat or cool, and propane too, call Bob's Cash Fuel. Bob's Cash Fuel, Route 148 in Madison, your System 2000 premier dealer.
The Easter Bunny Bunny has hopped over to Incense and Peppermints in Waterville, bringing with it your family's favorite Easter treats. Stop into Incense and Peppermints and fill up your basket with Chicks and Rabbit brand candies, traditional chocolate and covered peeps, solid milk chocolate bunnies, chocolate caramel bunnies, and chocolate eggs, plus new Easter flavors of jelly beans and nonpareils. Everybody knows your Easter will be so much sweeter if you visit Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
Hi, this is Mike Perkins from KMD Motorcycle School. If you're interested in earning your motorcycle license, contact us to sign up for classes. Starting soon, they are available 7 days a week. Call 465-4835 or visit kmddrivingschool.com.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Tom Rivers. The state of the pandemic right now is a race. ABC's Victor Kendo says it's between new infections and vaccinations.
An alarming new trend in COVID cases. In 20 states, case averages are climbing more than 10% in the last week, but vaccination numbers are on the rise too, averaging 2.5 million vaccine doses per day nationwide over the last week. The president doubling his original goal of 100 million shots in his first 100 days to 200 million.
President Biden also told reporters Thursday that the influx of migrants arriving at the southern border has nothing to do with his policies, but is a yearly occurrence. He said the government is working to find more shelter for unaccompanied migrant children. Georgia's new election law has already been hit with one lawsuit. Voting rights activists say it amounts to voter suppression. Georgia was one of several southern states to experience powerful tornadoes over the last day. This is ABC News. In the nearly 2 months of protesting since the military coup in Myanmar, at least 300 demonstrators have been killed by security forces. That today from a human rights group there. We're learning more about the moment that a tragedy may have been averted in Atlanta when a man spotted someone with a gun in the bathroom of a supermarket. ABC's Steve Osunsami with more.
Police arrested a man who walked in wearing body armor and looked like he was armed to kill with multiple guns and ammo. The arrest came after quick thinking from a customer. Charles Russell was in the restroom.
I went to go wash my hands and I'm looking at, just naturally, and I seen the AR glimpse and I was like, you know what? Let me make sure I'm not crazy. And I looked into the stall deliberately and was like, okay, that's an AR.
Russell, who was working for Instacart at the time, ran out of the restroom to tell the grocery store management.
The arrests coming on the heels of deadly mass shootings in the Atlanta area and Boulder, Colorado. I'm Tom Rivers, ABC News.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Concentrated all-purpose Simple Green is the answer for versatile cleaning throughout your home and garage. I'm so certain you'll love Simple Green. If you're not 100% satisfied, I'll give you your money back. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green, Simple Green. Take advantage of an irresistible new offer from HelloFresh. Get delicious recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered to your door. With more than 25 weekly recipes, there's something for everyone to enjoy, including family-friendly, vegetarian, and low-calorie options. Plus, you can skip the store and save up to 28% on groceries. Go to HelloFresh.com/Sky12 and use code Sky12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping, for a limited time only. That's code Sky12 at HelloFresh.com/Sky12.
And now, the show that highlights America's most intelligent people.
This term, there are legitimate white supremacist sympathizers that sit at the heart and at the core of the Republican caucus.
Freedom's Pep Rally with John James.
There are not white supremacists that sit at the... What is she basing that on? She is a mook. Mook. That's a word you can't use enough on these people. Look it up. You'll see the definition once, and that's going to become your go-to word. I guarantee it. Good morning. It's 11:03. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally, and we've got a lot to get to in the hour. I'll try to get to all of it. Some of it. I'm not going to get to all of it, but let's see if we've got something here. Disney subscription prices for Disney Plus. Now, what is that? Is that the internet? Disney Plus? I don't know. I don't have the Disney Channel. But I've got grandkids that love Disney, so I've got to be careful not to let them know about Disney Plus. Whatever the rates are now, they're going up. They've even got a song about it, I think.
Disney Plus, Disney Plus. Give your hard-earned cash to us. Gonna hit you with a price increase. You'll pay an extra $1. Got Star Wars, Hamilton, and The Mandalorian. So you better hand it over to keep seeing Baby Yoda. Foot the bill, pay the dough for streaming Pinocchio. We want some of your government stimulus. It's the cost of admission to see WandaVision. Disney Plus, spend on us. Disney Plus.
Going up $1. I was miffed when every year it seems now Netflix is going up. And the only reason I pay for Netflix is because I enjoy some of the movies. I also am a subscriber to, and I'm sure a lot of people are, and I'm not proud of it because I know a lot of conservative people are backing out of these things. But when you think about it, any TV you watch and pay money for, whether it's cable, Roku, I don't care what it is, you're paying money to basically the leftist campaigns because they're all leftists. Disney, Amazon, Netflix, all of your entertainment outlets are primarily leftist outlets. And, you know, you're sort of stuck if you don't pay the money. So, yeah, I'm guilty as charged. I subscribe to Netflix. Not proud of it, but there's some good stuff on there. There really is. I mean, I've seen some good conservative movies. There was a movie on Netflix I watched not too long ago, and I wish I'm not really that attuned to Christian music, Christian pop music, and I can't remember the guy's name or the name of the band, but it was the basically movie. It was a biopic about this guy that was they had a hit. They had a huge Christian hit. It was a great movie. And then there's the anti-abortion movie called Unplanned. I saw that on Netflix or Amazon, one or the other, which was a great, absolutely great movie that could, and that movie alone could really change some minds about abortion, about what I call baby killing. You know, I think of all the families that are unable to have children, and so they adopt, and how easy it would be if you don't want your baby for whatever reason, to, you know, go ahead and put your child up for adoption right after birth. There are options, and this movie was basically presenting the options after this woman who worked her, a true story, another biopic about this woman who worked her way up and was making bank and was sky was the limit for her. She started out a liberal activist, and she was brought on by Planned Parenthood, worked her way up, had to be in the room for an abortion, saw a baby's life literally being sucked away on an X-ray or a sonogram or something, and boom, just like that, she became a huge anti-abortion activist. So, there if you pick and choose your movies, there are some good ones on there. I stay away from all the ones that have the Black Lives Matter. And you know what it is? It's to appeal to people who think, oh, geez, this might help me because they're telling me I'm racist. I must be racist. I'm white. I must be racist. So let's look through the Black Lives Matter selections. Take that off. If it's a good movie, I'll watch it because it's a good movie. You don't have to do virtue signaling to get me to watch something. Get more of these stupid robocalls. All right. So final hour here, 11:09 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And Biden's war on guns is now ramping up thanks to Barack Obama. Barack Hussein, I hate guns, Obama. Let's do it. So how's Barack Obama involved? Well, I think Barack Obama is probably involved more than we'll ever know in this presidency. Joe Biden says he talks to Barack Obama a lot. Well, less than 24 hours after former President Barack Obama claimed gun violence is an epidemic, a report was published claiming that Biden is considering a new public health emergency to deal with gun violence. What? Yeah, like COVID-19. According to a report from the New York Times, officials inside the Joe Biden White House are planning sweeping executive actions and other methods to impose gun control nationwide under the guise of an emergency. Should Biden declare a public health emergency, he could enforce similar restrictions the country faced during the pandemic and could empower other states to declare their own emergency. Jen Psaki admitted the administration is looking for various ways, clandestine ways, to impose and enforce gun control. Now, I don't know about you, your house. I don't know if you have any rogue guns that are jumping out of your safe when you're not home and going out and raising hell, wreaking havoc on your community. But if you do, they must be controlled. How many people are in this country? Last count, I think it was somewhere around 330,211,000. I don't know. That's about right. How many nut jobs grab their guns, any gun, I don't care what it is, shotgun, handgun, AR-15, and go out and shoot up public places? And of the few nut jobs, no, this is not an epidemic. It's not. When was the last time there was a mass shooting in Maine? When was the last time there was a mass shooting in Mass? When? Where's the epidemic? Chuck Schumer says there's an epidemic of gun violence. Diana Muller was telling us that back when Representative Hupp, the woman who went into Luby's cafeteria in Texas with her parents, dutifully leaving her gun in her car because it was a gun-free zone, and 20-something people were shot, including both her parents, when her gun was 100 yards away. When she testified to the Senate back 30 years ago, Chuck Schumer was there. Chuck Schumer is still there. Her testimony, nor any other of the testimonies that have come in over the years of people whose lives have been saved by guns, matter one little bit to Chuck Schumer. Yet these people are gun experts, and he's telling you, and Biden is telling you, and Kamala Harris is telling you that this is an epidemic, and we have to stop it. Again, just like every other means to their ultimate end, these are bald-faced lies that you can look into the FBI records and you can see how many people were killed. You can see by what type of guns. Very, very, very few in the overall scheme of things even used a long gun, let alone a rifle, let alone an AR-15. So how on earth does that compare to a pandemic like COVID-19? And how are draconian gun laws going to make us safer when the nutcases who have guns are still going to have guns and are still going to go out and shoot things up, and more people will die because less people are going to be protected? How many people use an AR-15 for target shooting, for competing like Diana Muller, for home protection? And who the hell in the government is to tell you what you can and cannot use in your home? But he wants to make it a health emergency. He certainly also believes that there are executive actions under consideration. This is the New York Times. He certainly believes, but there are also actions under the Constitution that will continue working through internally. Under consideration, I'm sorry, not under the, there are no actions under the Constitution. Other actions under consideration. There are lots of levers you can take. According to the Times, Biden is considering executive orders because he doesn't seem to believe a bill will get through Congress. Dianne Feinstein famously said one time, "If I could say to Mr. and Mrs. America, turn in your guns, I would." And that's apparently what Joe Biden thinks that by declaring a health emergency, he is going to be able to do. By declaring a gun violence public health crisis, Biden would not only be allowed to use emergency funds to beef up the ATF, but he could also use it to impose tougher restrictions or bans because it's an emergency. It's getting out of control, folks. It's spiraling. We are circling the drain. You're kissing your First Amendment rights goodbye as we speak. This, in New York City, what I'm doing right now would be considered hate speech. The NRA is considered a hate group. The NRA, whose logo I proudly wear here on my shirt, the NRA is considered a terrorist organization in San Francisco and in New York, where Andrew Cuomo is trying to clip the wings of the NRA to basically neuter them and put them out of business. Was it dumb for them to set up in the state of New York? I would think so. But what do I know? I wasn't there when they set up shop in New York. But they're trying to get rid of, and by the way, the NRA is the biggest gun safety organization in the country. They are the biggest they are primarily a gun safety organization. They have programs, they have trainers, they are the ones, the NRA is the nonprofit organization, and they've had their problems, trust me. Some of the brass has taken, I know, I get that. Again, human beings, imperfect human beings in all walks of life, in all organizations, have been of no help. That's for sure. But the NRA, they are the ones that certify the trainers, all of the trainers all over America that teach people how to use guns. They certify the trainers who then allow the trainers to teach people how to safely use and store guns, how to use them in an emergency, and how to be safe with them. That's where I got my range safety officer certification. I could not be an RSO at the range until I went through pretty extensive training, like an 8 or 10 hour day of nothing but training and tests, just to be a range safety officer. This is the NRA. So we want to take away the guns. We want to take away any safety surrounding guns. We want to allow the criminals to keep their guns, and it's going to be a better place because health emergency. Give me a freaking break. They're lying to you. Everything they say is a lie. Oh, if you don't let people in through the borders, then you're inhumane. You aren't inclusive. You're a xenophobe, which is the fear of people from other countries. What? What are you even talking about? It's like, and AOC, there are racists in the Republican caucus. There are white supremacists. What? Who? Name names, AOC, you big mouth. You big mouth from the Bronx. Name the white supremacists. I'm waiting. She can't name them. She won't name them. Well, I wouldn't want to name them. I don't want to single them out because you don't know of any. Who is racist? The left is racist. The left is racist, and they deflect it to you. They try to project their racism onto the right. Not racist. I've got black friends. I've got Asian friends. I've told you, and you do too. You do too. Not a racist country, at least not the right. But the left is using racism as a tool, you see. They're driving the wedge between us. They're telling you that black people are shot, unarmed black people are shot more than any other minority by police. Well, no, they don't provide any context. They say it, and the left believes what they say, not what they see. They don't bother looking up facts. They don't bother looking up statistics. They don't bother asking why. They just accept it, project it, share it, and go about their lives. Because all they've got is anger, and they hate guns because they're told to hate guns. They're told guns are dangerous. And they love illegal immigrants because they're told it makes them woke. It makes them inclusive. Oh, that's nice. I'm inclusive because I want to allow all of God's children in illegally. Well, all of God's children coming in here illegally have mostly been smuggled in, have been sent alone by... What kind of a parent are you if you send a young child with somebody, a trafficker or some coyote, some drug dealer, to the American border for a better life? If they make it, how many children die along the way? How many children are raped or abused along the way? How many children don't even make it to the border? And when they get here, they aren't ripped out of their parents' arms because they don't come with their parents, most of them. They are called unaccompanied minors for a reason. They are unaccompanied by their parents. How can you rip somebody from their parents' arms when their parents are still in Central America? It's all lies. And now we've got a president that wants to perpetuate another lie that gun violence is a public health emergency. Oh, did you hear about this? The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Americans do not have a right to open carry a firearm. Yeah. Okay, there's step one. There's step one. Ninth Circuit. Americans do not have the right to open carry a firearm. Now, I never have, and I probably never will open carry a firearm. I just don't. Personally, as a personal thing, I believe it makes you a target. I don't want to be a target in the restaurant. Somebody comes in and sees that I have a gun I'm open carrying on my hip. Well, guess who the first person they're going to take out is? So that's my mindset on it. But it doesn't matter. It's not illegal, or it wasn't. Now the Ninth Circuit says, well, it is. Americans can't open carry a gun. I don't know what effect that has on us right now here in Maine or anywhere else. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you'd better look before you open carry. I don't know if that has any effect on us right now or not, or if it has to be a state mandate. But this is scary stuff, and this is new. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, remember, Trump did a really good job. Trump and actually Mitch McConnell did a good job at getting new judges in and really making it a little bit more balanced. It has traditionally been a very left-wing court. But while the leftists were playing games trying to get Trump out of office, Trump and Mitch McConnell were getting judges put in place. Thank God for that. But even still, they somehow got this through in the Ninth Circuit. The appeals court cited that the government could prohibit certain weapons from entering public spaces as means of providing domestic tranquility and forestalling domestic violence. Tranquility. Wasn't that the surface of the moon? The sea of tranquility. Quiet. See, how can anybody be tranquil in a place where somebody's got a gun? Think of it as protection for you and your family. I say, if I'm just a regular citizen and there's somebody open carrying a gun, and they're sitting with some people at a restaurant table or they're walking through a store open carrying a gun, I'm thinking, well, they're certainly not walking around with a gun, calling attention to themselves, getting ready to shoot the place up. I've seen a lot of people open carrying guns. I've never been afraid of them, never worried about them. Why would I? Why would I? Why would they open carry a gun if they were going to go do harm? Wouldn't they hide it? Wouldn't they hide it until they got to where they could shoot people? And how often does that happen anyway? Not very often. How many times does a good guy with a gun save themselves or their family or people they don't even know from a bad guy with a gun? It happens. It could have happened at Luby's in Texas. This woman, this Representative Hupp from Texas, who lost both her parents and 20 plus other lives were lost in that restaurant. She said had she been able to carry her gun in there, which was 100 yards away, dutifully tucked into her car, she said she could have stopped it. She could have stopped it. She could have saved her parents and countless other lives. But no, gun-free zone. Why are schools such soft targets? Why are movie theaters soft targets? Let's see. What do they have in common? Oh, yeah, they're all gun-free zones. But look for that to be coming. A public health emergency. And I like talking. One of the things I took out of our little chat with Diana Muller, who is a great, if you missed her, I'll get that up later so you can hear her. She's just fantastic. She is incredible. And I'm going to get the links for you. dcproject.info. Go there and join. She's amazing. But it dawned on me when she said they're playing the long game. They are. The Democrats have been playing the long game. Now they're getting impatient. Now they're getting impatient. Donald Trump changed the whole landscape. Donald Trump showed the left that there are a lot of people who love the freedom America offers. And they've got to nip that in the bud. They've got to get people not so used to freedom. Oh, we've got to stop that freedom thing, and we've got to do it now. We can't play the long game much longer. Now they're doing it. Now they are doing it. Their gloves are off. Ours have to be off too. The long game has become the short game for them. So if they ban AR-15s, what are you going to do? That's a personal choice. If they say, you got to turn them in. By law now, you're going to have to turn them in. Well, you know what? I sold mine. There are no universal background checks. I sold mine to a friend. I can't remember what friend I sold it to. What are they going to do to me? They're going to come into my house? I want to go through your safe. Well, the day they start doing that, like Diana Muller said, I will die on this hill. When they start doing that, game over, because that is tyranny come to life. When the FBI comes into your house and demands to look in your gun safe, freedom is done. Freedom is all over. So if they ban AR-15s and say you've got to turn them in, what are you going to do? You're going to hold on to it? Because the next time we get somebody like Donald Trump in office, and I believe we will, whether it's Donald Trump or somebody like him, I believe we will. And when we do, all of these draconian rules, all of these stupid freedom-inhibiting laws are going to be tossed out the window like yesterday's trash. And all of a sudden, the landscape will change, hopefully for good the next time. And where are all of those guns that you spent so much money for, that the government was willing to give you? I spent $1,400 for an AR-15. I spent $1,500 for an AR-10. So it's $3,000. What are they going to give me? Maybe we'll give you $400 for both of them. So you sell them, then 4 years later, we're going to get rid of all these stupid, nonsensical, anti-constitutional laws, unconstitutional laws. But we've got to play the long game. That's me talking. That's up to you. If it comes to that, it's the only reason I'm saying this is because it seems to be inching ever closer to us. And we've got to think before it happens, okay, what's our game plan? You can't wait for the day they say, okay, health emergency, we're banning AR-15s, got to turn them in, got to sell them, we'll give you, a little money, we'll give you a pittance for your AR-15s, or for your semi-automatic, your 50 cal, because they want to ban a lot more than that. In Sheila Jackson Lee, according to Shirley Jackson Lee, her bill, H.R. 127, wants to ban 50 caliber guns. I've got a 50 caliber gun. She wants to ban tactical pistols. Well, I've got a tactical pistol that shoots rifle rounds. Wants to ban all ARs. That's AR-15s, AR-10s. Anything that looks mean. Well, okay, there right there is $6,000 worth of my guns that would get banned. And, you got to turn them in. We'll give you $500 for the bunch of them. How's that? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. Sorry. That's my decision. I sold all mine. I sold my guns. I sold them for market value. Good luck finding them. I don't know who has them now. Universal background checks would make it clear. Another red herring. Oh, universal background checks will make us safer. No, they won't. They won't. Universal background checks will make every legal gun owner a felon as soon as they say you've got to turn them in. Because now they're going to know where all the guns are because they're going to have a record of it. I see you sold this gun to your neighbor sold it to your brother-in-law, to his brother-in-law, and here it is now. It's there. Let's go get it. I don't think it'll ever come to that. I hope it doesn't. And like I say, if it does, if it comes to where they're tracking down where certain types of guns are, and then they're literally physically going to take them, freedom's over anyway. Again, I will die on this hill. It's 11:33. We got to take a break. Back, we'll squeeze a little bit more stuff in here. I want to get to a little bit more of Biden's lame presser yesterday. Coming right up, I'm Don James.
WSKW, Central Maine's Heritage Station.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
You've probably seen them on the road, helping those that need them. And you can rest assured Delta Ambulance will be there when you need them most too. Delta Ambulance prides themselves on having a team that utilizes superior training, years of experience, and state-of-the-art medical technologies. So if you need safe transportation for routine or critical care transfers, Delta Ambulance is standing by. Learn more about the difference Delta makes at deltaambulance.org. Compassion, leadership, excellence. That's Delta Ambulance.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Decorate with items from Townline Antiques this spring to invigorate your home and your spirit. Do you love classic decor? You'll find enchanting artwork, signs, and hundreds more items around every corner. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has cool, rare, and one-of-a-kind items that you won't find anywhere else. There are now more booths and extra space, so come see what's new, like a huge selection of stuffed animals, including an abundance of bears and bunnies just in time for Easter. And a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. They're all expertly handcrafted into unique shapes and colors that are breathtakingly vivid. Trust me, you have got to see them. Have you been considering selling your items at Townline Antiques? There are now only 2 booth space left in the beautiful shop, so be sure to contact.
Hi. I forgot I can do this now. I can talk to you now. I just remembered it. Too late now. We've got to go back, but I can talk to just the video audience. Thank you for being here. Please share if you would. I sure would appreciate it. Back. We'll be back. Hold on.
Thunderstorm this afternoon, warm again with highs in the 50s and 60s and becoming breezy. Partly sunny, cooler on Saturday with highs around 50. Rain and mountain snow Sunday with highs around 40 for Sunday and Monday.
Freedom's Pep Rally is brought to you by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. Get your guns today. I'm not kidding you. I will preach guns all day long. I would never force anybody who doesn't like guns to get one. I would never say you have to get a gun. But I would encourage people, if you want to get a gun, get them while you can. I mean, the AR-15s, Eric brought up a good point that AR-15s they've been flying off the shelves. So many that just about everybody could have an AR-15 if they were all, handed out to, every individual. There are that many out there. It's the most popular rifle in America, the AR, most popular gun in America. And they can't make them fast enough. I was telling you the other day, my friend David Kelso up there in at Wicked Water Graphics in South Paris, Maine, who dips all these guns for Wyndham weaponry, all the AR-15 furniture parts. He has been beside himself getting these things done and shipped back so they can sell them. And a lot of the gun stores are out. So if you can find one, if you want to get one, a good time to get it is now. And I would say if you're going to get one now, you better resolve to say, I'm going to hold on to it, come hell or high water. If they want to ban them and make me turn them in, sorry, I'm going to just say I sold it to somebody, because right now we have neither background checks nor orders to turn them in, which means if you get one now, you have it and they can't track you because, well, you may have sold it to somebody. You didn't have to undergo a background check. They want it, so you have to have whoever you sell it to, including your uncle, you have to undergo a background check before you can sell it to your uncle or your cousin. Or it's craziness. It really is ludicrous, and it's all being done out of fear. And I've got to tell you, I've had a lot, and I appreciate this. I've had a lot of liberal friends of mine have started asking me about guns because they're thinking about getting one because of all that's going on. And I'll tell you what, if anybody wants to message me or email me, mail@thevoiceguy.net, and ask any questions for recommendations or so forth, I am more than happy. To help you any way I can. If it's any help to you here on the radio, all I will say is if you've decided I'm going to go get a firearm, no matter what kind it is, and you're a first-time gun buyer, understand you need to train. You need to ask all the questions you can when you buy the gun from the people at the gun shop. They know a lot, and you have to set up some time to train with somebody who is NRA certified, because the NRA, who Chuck Schumer wants to dismantle in New York and Andrew Cuomo want to dismantle in New York, the NRA is your paramount gun safety organization. They make sure people are safe. How many people would have died if not for the Eddie Eagle program, which is geared toward kids, which is a great gun safety thing for kids? And all of the trainers and all of the range safety officers that they have trained to keep people safe. Oh, we don't want people to learn about guns. We don't want anything that has to do with guns. You can't be safe with a gun. Of course you can. A gun is a tool. A gun is like a hammer. A gun is like a screwdriver. A gun is like a knife. It's a tool. In the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. But in a law-abiding person's hands, it's a tool. It's also a toy. Not a toy that you play with, but I mean, I refer to gun shops as the toy store for people like me. No, they're not a toy, but you have fun with them. I think training is a blast. Once you learn how to use it from a trainer, you go out and you practice at you just spend an afternoon, if you can afford it, now especially, putting some rounds down range, hitting targets. It's fun. It's a pastime. It's a hobby. Don't take my hobby away from me. And don't take my freedom away from me, my constitutional right. Public health emergency. That's what's next. I'm going to put some of these comments up without looking at them. So I don't know what they say. I just want people to be able to see them on all the platforms. It's 11:42 here on Leggett, and there might even be some liberal comments in there. I'm just not looking. So time will tell, I guess, on that. 11:42 right now. So let's talk a little bit more about this presser yesterday. Joe Biden didn't call on Fox News Peter Doocy. We know that. He had a plan to avoid Peter Doocy because he would have looked more out of it than he already did. Didn't he look old? New York Times said something. Oh, shoot, I can't remember what it was. They said something about he looked old. He looked tired. Maybe it wasn't old. He looked very tired, and he looked confused at times. You know what? Somebody asked, I don't know who it was, do you plan to run in 4 years? I thought, what? I really don't plan. I don't think he's going to make it to summer. I've said that. That's my prediction. It may or may not happen. I don't think he's going to make it to summer. I think they're going to decide now. We need to put Kamala in there now. Got to get her in there. The woman who couldn't be elected dog catcher, is going to be the president of the United States. Nice move. After the press event, Fox News contributor Joe Concha was on with Sandra Smith and John Roberts talking about what an embarrassment the whole charade was, especially tax-funded racial activist Yamiche Alcindor. Did you get a load of her? Here is John Roberts and no, I'm sorry. This is Sandra Smith and John Roberts talking about Yamiche Alcindor in this joke of a press conference.
And after that 1 hour and so press conference that we just watched, Sandra, John, we still don't really have any answers in terms of specifics to the pressing problems within this country. And look, I hate to differ a bit from some folks that have been speaking already, but this was a disgrace for most of the press corps. And for the president, he said some outrageous things that demanded to be pressed on. And of course, no one in the room can decide to do it. When the president of the United States says, for instance, when he has the support of a majority of Republican voters, I just checked Gallup, he's at 10% support among GOP voters. So what is he talking about? And obviously the reporters were chosen for him in terms of the optics. He's reading off a predetermined list of reporters to call on, one that didn't include Peter Doocy. So that's a question for the White House handlers of Mr. Biden. Why are you so afraid of a rookie White House press correspondent? But also, again, about that document that was in front of him that he continually had to refer to. Ari Fleischer wrote, and it was a good question. I wish someone would have asked him about that. Sir, what is that notebook that you appear to be flipping through, and why are you referencing and reading from it? Aren't you confident enough in your own answers to provide an argument? But Yamiche Alcindor, who got the second question, she's from PBS, your tax dollars at work.
Yeah.
This was patently embarrassing to the profession.
Amen.
She made the argument that the surge at the border was only happening because Mr. Biden is, quote, a moral and decent man. She didn't bother to even quote back Biden in terms of what he said as a candidate when he literally said to migrants to surge the border, unquote. Mexico's president agrees with that the rhetoric of Mr. Biden led to the surge, as do migrants themselves when you interview them. She then pressed Biden to back the filibuster in the name of civil rights. In other words, it wasn't even a question. She was advocating for it while accusing Republicans of suppressing voting rights. This wasn't only bias in broad daylight, it was activism. But kudos to Kristen Welker, who was the only reporter there to actually press Mr. Biden on media access to migrant facilities. He said he'll only allow access when his plan is implemented. So then she followed correctly by saying, oh, when's that going to happen, by the way? And he said he didn't know. So look, I mean, Peter Doocy, I'm sure he would have asked some good questions, but otherwise, this was an embarrassment to the press corps, guys.
No, it's not funny. It really isn't funny. It's pathetic. Here's some of the responses that came after PBS's Yamiche Alcindor's complimentary softball questions and racial activism. Holy these people are worse than North Korea state TV. That was a tweet from Benny Johnson. Former Trump aide Mercedes Schlapp says Yamiche should be hired by the DNC as press secretary. Others complained because Alcindor's question was premised on the claim that Biden's statements encouraged more migration. Here's another one. This is from Dan Frumkin of Press Watch. Ugh, Yamiche embraces the bullshit narrative that migrants are coming because they think Biden's a softie. Anti-Trump columnist Jen Rubin. Yamiche makes the statement unproven that his words set off the surge. This is factually wrong. Now, Concha did correctly point out that NBC's Kristen Welker, who was one of the presidential debate moderators, did a good job with her question and the follow-up, a great follow-up question. And Biden's answer was not only priceless, but it was also telling and quite pathetic. Listen, here's the exchange.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Given the conditions that were just laid out at the migrant facilities at the U.S. border, will you commit to allowing journalists to have access to the facilities that are overcrowded moving forward?
I will commit when my plan very shortly is underway to let you have access to not just them, but to other facilities as well.
How soon will journalists be able to have access to the facilities? We've obviously been allowed to be inside one, but we haven't seen the facilities in which children are packed together to really give the American people a chance to see that. Will you commit to transparency on this issue?
I will commit to transparency. And as soon as I am in a position to be able to implement what we're doing right now, and one of the reasons I haven't gone down, I have all my chief folks have gone down, is I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to be.
He doesn't want to be the issue.
All the Secret Service and everybody with me to get in the way.
That'd be an issue.
So this is being set up, and you'll have full access to everything once we get this thing moving.
Wait for it.
Okay, just to be clear, how soon will that be, Mr. President?
I don't know.
I don't know. Pudding! Come on! Could you get my pudding? I don't know. You don't know? You're the frickin' president. You don't know when the press is going to be... Did he say, God bless the elderly. But leading the country? I mean, really? I mean, it's like, where'd you pick this guy up? Where'd you get this guy? You get down at the early bird buffet at, I don't know, there are no early at the Shoney's. I think Shoney's, I don't know if you ever been to a Shoney's before. Shoney's, nobody has a buffet now because of the COVID, but we go into the show. We like going to Shoney's whenever we were in the South. And I think a lot of them have closed now, but we'd go into Shoney's at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and it'd be like we'd be the youngest people in there by 20, 30 years. It was priceless. It was nice, the food was good and the people were all nice, but it's what Joe Biden, I'm sorry, I see my grandmother, or my grandfather would be more apropos, I guess. I see my grandfather sitting in a day room watching TV with a board in front of him with a puzzle on it, watching the news doing a puzzle. This is how I picture Joe Biden. And that's not the way you want to picture your leader, is it? I don't think so. So I'm gonna get off the whole news conference now, because I do want to get to a couple of other things I talked about yesterday, and we don't have much time left. Dr. Fauci and Rand Paul had a back and forth the other day. I think it's great when Dr. Fauci, who goes unquestioned by the left, meets his match, like he did with a senator and a physician, Dr. Rand Paul. They went toe-to-toe during a Senate hearing last Thursday, and I absolutely loved it. Here they are. This is Rand Paul and Dr. Anthony Fauci.
What proof is there that there are significant reinfections with hospitalizations and death from the variants? None in our country. Zero.
Well, because we don't have a prevalent of a variant yet. We're having one. Can I finish?
We're having 117 that's becoming more dominant.
Policy based on conjecture.
No,
it
isn't based on conjecture.
Variants, so you want people to wear a mask for another couple years.
No.
You've been vaccinated and you parade around in 2 masks for show.
No.
You can't get it again. There's virtually 0% chance you're going to get it, and yet you're telling people that have had the vaccine, who have immunity. You're defying everything we know about immunity by telling people to wear a mask who've been vaccinated.
No.
Instead, you should be saying there is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people being vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine. You want people to get the vaccine? Give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it.
Well, let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Masks are protective. And we
have immunity there, theater. If you already have immunity, you're wearing a mask to give comfort to others. You're not wearing a mask because of any science.
I totally disagree with you.
Okay, fine. He can disagree all he wants. But someone has to hold him accountable for his claims. And it was a doctor, a physician. Senator Dr. Rand Paul is the guy to do it. Check out this tweet from Rand Paul last Sunday. He said, sorry, Dr. Fauci and other fearmongers. New study shows vaccines and naturally acquired immunity do effectively neutralize COVID variants. Good news for everyone but bureaucrats and petty tyrants. Senator Paul continues. He added, and he linked to a research letter, neutralizing antibodies against SARS-CoV-2 variants, which is COVID-19, after infection and vaccination. And he quoted the Journal of American Medical Association, March 19th, 2021. I like to just sit back and watch it unfold sometimes. 11:55. I told you, did I tell you yesterday? I wanted to air this little piece from Savannah, our friend Savannah from the Savvy Truth on Right America Media. This is very short. It's very good. I had there's a couple of stories on transgender, and I'll get into this more next week with Kristi slipped my mind. Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, she got into it with Tucker Carlson a little bit last week. We'll talk about this next week, and it's about the transgender. She sort of backed off on signing a bill that would ban transgender athletes from playing female sports in South Dakota. But there was reasoning for that, and we'll go deeper into that. I've got a couple of pieces from Kristi Noem, one with Tucker Carlson and one with Glenn Beck. So we'll look at that next week. It's interesting. Savannah from the Savvy Truth has an opinion on everything at the tender age of 17. And what's better, she's not afraid to share it. So when it comes to transgendered females competing with females, biological females, Savvy is keeping it real. And this is only 30 seconds, but boy, oh boy, this is from a kid who's still in school. She's homeschooled, granted, but she's still learning, and she's very, very smart. She is a product of her environment. She's very smart. Here's what she has to say about transgendered athletes.
So let me get this straight. Men can join women's sports. They can take away scholarships that should have gone to a woman. They can take away achievements and awards that should have gone to a woman. And now they can join and win women pageants. So basically, what we're teaching all of our daughters and young girls out there is that no matter how you train, no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you deserved it, you will never be better than the guys. And now you'll never be better than the guys at literally being a woman. We have literally created a glass ceiling for women, and I am not okay with that.
I love her. She is so good. She is so good. Oh, we'll have her on again here shortly. I think there's just so much to talk about now. Not only is she very, very well versed in politics, more well versed than people who actually are old enough to vote, but she's also an old soul. She's also a lover of guns. She's a rodeo competitor. She's a media personality. She is a hunter, a huntress. She's a lot of things, and she's not even 18 years old yet. And she has got the full support of her parents. And I just think that's great. So that's a good way to end the show. And I will talk to you on Monday at 9 o'clock. Mike Violette here Monday morning at 6. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me. Take good care of yourself, and we'll all meet here again Monday. Okay? Thanks. See you later.
AM 1160, WSKW.
Hey, folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
I know you've heard the old adage, buy low and then sell high. Well, with real estate prices rising in the market every day, if you've been thinking of selling your home, now is the time to list your property with Pouliot Real Estate to capitalize on it. While the market may be growing, Matt and the team at Pouliot Real Estate are never too busy to help. In fact, before you go and pay for an appraisal to find the value of your home, Pouliot Real Estate will happily give you an estimate for free. Yeah, I said free. Low interest rates have created an active buying market, which is great for